We go from green to khaki, and right now the Army Reserve in Tasmania is leading the way in the development of a new Army Reserve Officer Training Scheme, and it's called the Brighton Model. Right now with us we're going to talk about the Brighton Model with Major Gavin Connell and also Officer Cadet Andrew McLeod. Thanks for joining us, gentlemen.
Morning.
Major must be the older one, or the one... the one with the...
the one with the long service ribbon, yeah.
The one with the long service ribbon. First of all, the Brighton Model, this is a rather unique development, isn't it, for Tasmania, if not Australia?
Yes, it is, actually. And it came to pass because we don't have a university regiment as such in Hobart, where the other capital cities do have them. And we needed to come up with some sort of concept whereby university students could do Army Reserve officer training without conflicting their time with their studies. And it's a problem which we had come up with in the past, and we had a high dropout rate. So a number of people sat down and we worked out a concept whereby we could put a quick fix situation on the shortage and get
to work.
Well, it appears to have. We won't know for a couple of years whether it's going to work or not.
Well, what's the situation on the mainland then with Army Reserve officers over there? Surely they work. How do they do their training?
Well, there are things called officer cadet training units in all of the states. The university regiments take somewhere near 3 years to train their officers, but we couldn't wait that long. So we compressed the package into 1 year, and each time they have a break in their studies, then we get them in for 2 weeks and really fire it into the quick rate.
Right, and Andrew's a part of this new scheme.
Yes.
How long have you been into the scheme, Andrew?
I started officially in December last year.
Right.
And the first camp I attended was in the January-February break over the Christmas holidays, which fits in well with the university.
So that's, you're at university at the moment?
That's correct.
Now, of course, it's not easy to get into the Army Reserve these days. I mean, it's just not a matter of walking in and signing the dotted line. You've got to have the right qualifications, don't you?
Yeah.
Particularly to become an officer.
Yeah, you're front up in front of a selection panel, and they spend a day assessing your character and all that sort of thing, and get you to fill in all sorts of forms and tests, and they decide in their way, in their wisdom, who makes it and who doesn't.
Now, on this training camp, you said you've done one unit already, which went for a 2-week duration.
4 weeks.
4-week duration. What's the entire duration? 10 weeks? 14 weeks?
It works out to be 10 weeks over a number of different camps. We did 4 weeks in January, 2 weeks in July, 2 weeks in December, and then another 2 weeks next February, and they graduate at the end of that.
Now, it's all ground training to become an officer, of course, in the Army Reserve. Andrew, how strict, how rigid is it?
It's very, very hard mentally and very strict mentally. You've got to be what we call switched on for the whole time. You're on a 10-minute notice to move in any uniform, in any colour at any time. For example, they got us out of bed one night, put us in the back of a truck, took our boots off us and took us to the middle of nowhere, then gave us our boots back and then said, rightio, get home.
Get home.
The only problem is they gave us a map, but they didn't tell us where we were or where home was, so we had to figure our way back. But everyone seemed to get back. Okay.
Did you? So you also have to make, as officer material, you have to make quick decisions in moments of stress.
Yeah, well, that's the whole idea. If you think that if it ever goes to war, which is what their training is for partially, is we're going to have a group of 30 men under our control. We're supposed to be able to get them from point A to point B. If we get attacked on the way, then we're supposed to look after our men. Plus, of course, it leads into civilian life. It helps you a lot to organise yourself, to develop your own sort of maturity, your own leadership, your own organisational skills that feed off in other areas.
It must be good too, also beneficial for civilian life.
Oh, yeah, it's great.
As far as administration or employment, whatever sort of work you do.
Well, if any employer sees that a prospective employee is a member of the Army Reserve or even an officer in the Army Reserve, and they know that that person is going to be confident, organised, self-assured, and know how to go about sort of things. I know from my example, university this year's been a lot more organised than it was in any other year.
Now, Gavin, apart from this training, there's 33 lads that started, is that correct?
Yes, we started with 33.
What's the dropout rate? How hard is it?
Well, we're not trying to drop people out, we're trying to get people through. All of our...
You're looking for the right material, though,
Yes, we are. Well, we like to think that the people that make it in the first place are generally good enough. We operate in a very strong sense in a group environment, and people like Andrew, who's one of the top cadets that we've got, help out the ones that are not quite so good, because the Army really is a team game. But we've lost about 7 so far, and funnily enough, the ones which we have lost are the ones which have tried to undertake the old scheme of training on weekends rather than coming in during the university breaks, because they're people who are employed.
Oh, right.
And the same sorts of strains which have been on them in the past are on them again, whereas the university people are the ones that we've retained.
Right, two quick questions before we wrap up. One is that you guys are at the basketball tonight or tomorrow night? Saturday night or...?
I think we're doing it again this Saturday night.
This Saturday night? Are you at the Derwent Entertainment Centre, on the ropes, coming down, giving the crowd something to hold their breath at?
Well, Sergeant Chipman, who's one of our people from out there, is coming down in the Tassie Devil uniform on Saturdays to stir the troops up.
Oh,
hopefully they'll have a big win.
Well, they get a big crowd there, 5,000, so it should be a lot of fun. Thanks for speaking to us this morning.
Thanks very much.
Change! Down! Have a barrel change, yeah. Becca! Come on, mate.